Nice and tight to the ceiling.
Yep.
So that's the these are all the front mains are high-powered JBL. They have the concert drivers in them, so they're high-powered cabinets. Surrounds are a little bit less, but plenty for your surrounds.
Yeah.
Okay. That part's pretty simple. What was your name?
Tom.
Tom asked about a preview monitor, and this is something that could, for instance, if you're wanting to queue up, a preview monitor could easily be set a small flat panel with a probably the simplest way to do it, maybe a composite, a yellow jack, video jack, a composite jack on the side, and then we could come off of the Blu-ray player at that point and send a, or we could even come off of the Denon with that composite feed to that monitor, and you could see what you were queuing up and queue it up back here and stick it in pause mode. The projector has a shutter mode where you can shutter it off so that it is in a black, and then when you're ready to show, you've already got this area queued, and then you unshutter the projector and hit play, and it's off and running. So there's a couple of things you could do there to make that a smoother transition. Does that make sense? So if you previewed kind of what you had queued up and ready to go, you could have it already in the
Does
ready.
it time out?
No, these do not. That's one reason you have a professional, because some residential or consumer grade, they time out and they go off. This will hold pause. Okay, just so you can do that. Also, if you do not want to see the little pause sign, which I usually leave it there because you never know if it's paused or not.
Yeah.
Okay, but you could take the on-screen displays off. Okay? We're looking at possibly doing satellite, and I'll kind of speak to that issue you were talking. Was it satellite or cable?
DirecTV, yeah.
DirecTV.
We are going to do that.
And DirecTV, what I would suggest is, I don't know what kind of service you have here, but I would probably suggest maybe another box, DirecTV box, that could possibly even be racked in this rack. We could do a rack shelf, and then at that point we're HDMI from that satellite right into this, and we'll use the cable or satellite source button here, and that'll get your sound and your video easily into what you want to do. If we have that box, if they just run us a cable, then there's
No, they have to have a box.
Yeah.
so when you
I've already called.
oh, okay, all right, we'll move on.
How about Super Bowl?
Oh,
Hey, ooh. Maybe that would work.
Okay,
those tickets won't be $5.
any questions?
That would be cool.
Let's talk about powering the system down. I usually always recommend that at this point now we go ahead and turn the projector off. Let's just hit stop on the Blu-ray, and it goes to a screen there. I'm going to pull mine. Open shows up here.
How long does your little fellas work wiring all this?
Well, we were talking about that a little bit earlier. I think we've probably had in total about 3 weeks worth of on-site. Wasn't, one day, but you probably added up to about 3 weeks. I haven't really totaled it up yet. So now, the standby button on the remote point, I hit it one more time, and it'll go through a cool down process, and it'll take it a while to cool down. So now,
And that's on what?
pardon?
What did you just cool down?
The projector.
Projector.
The projector, yeah. And you'll see it, the LED on the front side of that projector will be amber until it goes into, when it's done, it'll go red, which is standby
You
mode.
got some fans.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you see those two
Cool the
fans?
bulb down.
So,
Yeah.
Wayne, if you hit that button prematurely, Do you have to let it cool down before you power it back up, or is it okay to hit the
I
power?
would let it go all the way, all through its cool down, and then when that red light comes on the front, then you can power it back up. Lamps are not cheap, and so you try to, and that is a dual lamp projector. So you buy 2 lamps when you go to change them. Okay, so it's very important. Let it cool down, and I think Karen asked me one time, how long does a lamp last? It varies. I've had some facilities that they've had the same lamp in there for 4 or 5 years. It just depends on the hours that it gets.
Yeah.
But if you do your best to let it cool down, it'll last. And so now we can raise the screen. There's a little button behind you. Would someone do the honors? It says up. Push the up button. Now we're going to move on to the sound portion. And so we're going to kind of go back, and I'm going to stand to this side. And we're just going to do a quick demo of my iPod on the 30 pin. And so if you'd like to